of data that we are generating every day. As we can see in this chart here on the right, the number of data that we have been generating has been increasing a lot in the last few years. And data is information, right? It's numbers, it's words, different measurements on observations that can be very used by different industries. In e-commerce, you can have data being used by Amazon to determine the products that are being the most sold products, to determine the time that shipping is taking, to determine the costs that these products are having, how many employees, and etc. You can also use this in healthcare, especially now with COVID. We were seeing like different governments monitoring the increases in cases, the number of tests were being applied. We also see data science and data analysis being generating impact in manufacturing, as we can speed up the production line. We can try to see which products not increasing as much in production, what are the products that are not selling as much. We can see that in finance, tech, transportation. So data, the valuable amount of data that we are generating every day is increasing, and also its value. And we can extract value from this amount of data using data analysis and data science. So data analysis will be using this data to create competitiveness for these companies. So companies can reduce costs, can be more efficient, can predict fluctuations in the data. And that's why companies are hiring so many data analysts and data scientists, because as we are generating so much data every day, we need to have the understanding of what's happening to make the right decisions, to draw the right conclusions as we're using this much data. And in these professions are responsible to create these insights that are hidden, seem to be hidden inside the data. So there is a lot of information that we can extract and that we can apply, because it really has a lot of value, and companies are really interested in these professionals. So I want to talk about a little bit about like data science positions. So data science has been emerging as one of the most demanded professions in the recent years, as companies realize the amount of important information that can be hidden in data and that they can extract from it, such as Netflix can extract what are the most viewed shows, what are the increasing shows, what are the shows that are not generating as much revenue. We can see that for Starbucks, what are the branches they are having more success, what are the branches that might need some new improvements, new products, or what new products are creating more revenue, or which products are not. So it has a lot of implications. And in this data science process, we have 5 different stages according to this framework. And these 5 different stages require different skills in each one. So I want to first talk about these different stages. So in the first stage, we are obtaining the data. We are extracting the data from different sources, could be through the internet, could be through our internal systems in our company. It could be through government offices, such as the Office of Statistics, National Statistics. So it's obtaining the data, getting the data. And as we get data, we have to clean it up and organize it in a way that we can use the data, that the machine will be able to use the data. And then we can explore the data, which will be doing different analysis and running over the data, which I'll be showing you. I think here is a little bit better explained. So I was mentioning, the first step is obtaining the data, extracting and extracting the data. And one example that I have is a friend of mine. He's working extracting the data from different registries. So he's working, his previous approach was selecting the day, selecting the year, selecting the month, and selecting the day, copy and pasting the information. So that would be extracting the data. And he was doing that for different months. So that could take you a long time. So he was working on developing this algorithm in R that just with a click, you can run through different dates and different months in registry websites and collect information automatically instead of doing manually. So this is obtaining the data, right? Doesn't matter if the data is organized, doesn't matter if the data it has the right format. You're just extracting the data from a source and getting and maintaining the data. And the second step would be scrubbing, which would be cleaning the data, because after you get the data, it's kind of a raw material. So you have to clean it up to organize it and to be able to use it, because the machine probably you're using a different, a specific pattern, a specific standard that happens for names. For example, if you have someone's name and it's ordered for last name, comma, first name, sometimes it can happen that the user typed last name, space, first name, or last name, hyphen, first name. So these different approaches can really impact on the software later on. So it's really important that we have the information in the right format, and that will be scrubbing. That can also happen to numbers. People can use separators, different separators for thousands. People can use spaces. People can use commas. So it's kind of important that we clean the data and we make it easy for the software to read it, so we won't have problems later on. So that's step two. The third step is exploring the data, and that when the data analyst position starts to become more clear, because we're going to be analyzing the data in a way to create visualizations, which means we'll be creating plots, we'll be creating graphs showing the evolution of the value with time, or the correlation of different values. So this is a very open approach. So you'll be starting like analyzing and adventuring ourselves in the data, trying to find different patterns, trying to create theories, hypotheses, and analyze if it works. So that will be like exploring. You're going to go and adventure yourself with the data using statistical methods, visualization techniques, and I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that, which softwares are used for that. And fourth step is modeling. So modeling the data can involve a lot of statistical models, mathematical models, that you throw the data, the previous data, and they will give you a model that will be able to access what are the trends for the future, what could be happening for the next period in time. So it's a little bit more statistical inclined, mathematical inclined. They'll be able to predict the future with these models. Interpreting the data is the last step. Is all about storytelling. When you analyze the data and you see patterns, and how do you tell your audience that might be not so data science inclined, that might be not so versed in this world of data visualization or different numbers? How do you explain, how do you tell the story? How do you convince the stakeholders of different areas that is the right information? Because what we are doing, we are accessing information that we have to create the better decision for the company, to indicate a path, right? So there are different skills involved in these steps. So here I have this figure on the right, which represents the same processes we were talking before. And clearly we can see what each different professional can approach this process. For example, data engineers act right at the beginning. Data engineers will be working with collection and cleaning of the data. So they will be extracting the data and cleaning it. So it is expected that these data engineers know a little bit more about SQL. Data analysts also have to know SQL, but data engineers have to know in a deeper level, more advanced tools, since they will be pulling the data and working with it. And they also need to know sometimes R and Python, which are very used and becoming more and more useful as we have like different packages, and is very useful, Python, for different methods. And we also have very specialized softwares for these stages, such as C++, which is quite interesting because it can run a lot of information in less time. And we have all the very specific softwares for this stage. Then after we have the data collection and data cleaning, we pass it over to data analysts who could be also working with cleaning the data, because it might be required that they change it to the standard they are looking for, they are looking to work with. And then the most important part for data analysts will be the exploratory and data analysis, which is, as I was saying, creating visualizations, understanding how how the data is behaving on the time frame, or how some aspects of the data, such as, for example, shipments are varying with a value of the order. If someone's buying a more expensive order, are they paying more for shipping, or they are buying insurance for shipping? Is there some relation between those variables? So be trying to analyze and understand the data. And for these, you have to know a little bit more about the business, right? So to focus on exploratory analysis, you have to use Excel. It's really good that you use Tableau, because you'll be able to create different charts and dashboards quite easily, quite quickly. And Python and R are very useful as well, especially when you have to deal with creating distributions, analyzing distributions, and analyzing with different statistical parameters how this data is behaving. So this is the work of a data analyst. And then the last stage is a machine learning engineer. And as I was saying, is be working a little bit more with the model and model development. So it would be requiring a lot of programming skills and coding skills and statistical knowledge, because we have different methods used in machine learning. It's it's growing quite a lot. It's a field that has been developing quite a lot, and demands a very good knowledge of Python, SQL, as I was talking about, C++. So, and there are all the different softwares more specific that you can use for machine learning, which are in the cloud. But I want to emphasize the difference between data analysts and data scientists here. As you can see, data analysts will be focusing on these two steps, cleaning and exploratory analysis, which the latter is the most important one, exploring the data, creating business insights, understanding how that data is behaving so you can transform and impact the business, while data scientists can be working in all the different steps that we have in the data science process. So we can be working with collection, developing apps that will be automating the data extraction, or could be working with creating machine learning models, could also be working understanding the data. So a data scientist has a lot more to do than a data analyst. So as I was saying, I want to talk a little bit more the differences. So a data scientist can be working in all the steps in the data process, and can be creating automated processes, can be predicting, can be suggesting solutions, while data analysts can be more seen as investigative reporters. Is someone who will be asking questions to the data and will be providing insights into the data. So the main difference is that data science could be a lot more coding intensive, and even though data analysts can use a lot of software tools such as SQL, spreadsheets, R, Tableau, data scientists, they require a larger range of skills, and because they were dealing with different stages in this process. So here we have a diagram comparing the different skills that a data scientist and a data analyst needs. So we have 4 different skills here. Communication is important for all of them, because you'll be working with different teams. You'll be working, for example, with retailing, the legal department. So what you need to do is understand their needs and use the data to explain the needs, to explain what's happening, to explain their strategy they're going to be following. So communication is quite important, communication and teamwork. You also have statistics, which will be quite important, since you'll be working with models, you'll be working with distributions and data analysis and programming. And programming is more important for data scientists. And I want to show you, can you see here? So data scientist is the one that involves all the skills. And we have here on the right, a data analyst. So data analyst has communication, has statistics, and has business, but doesn't need as much programming as a data scientist. And also business. Both of them had to have to understand what the business require, what are the top priorities, is increasing sales or is diversifying, or increasing the range of products we are selling, or increase our base of consumers, diversify our consumers. So they need to understand what is required of the business, since they were providing important information from extracting the data to the business decision makers. And I would say that a data analyst, since we'll be investigating a little bit more, he might need a little bit more business knowledge, more business specialty to understand what is happening with the data and inform, give the right information to the top management. So here I have an example of the requirements for a position as a data analyst. So I have here highlighted what the responsibilities are. In red, the first one, it wants you to explore data sets and drive initiatives that will make the company faster, friendlier, and more efficient. So I was saying, using software like Tableau, like R, like Python, they'll help you to expedite these visualizations, these reports that will give you a clear indication what's happening. Second is break down complicated and diverse data sets into easy to digest dashboards. So I was mentioning dashboards Tableau can be used to create dashboards. R can be used to create dashboards. And what it does is show in one screen all the information that you might need. So it's quite important for business analysis, since you'll be sending that to your manager, who can be playing around with the numbers. You can have a map, you can have a chart showing in the same page which region is growing, which region is not developing as much. So a data dashboard can help you to showcase a lot of information on the same page and easy to access. Another one here is that you have to ensure that the company is data driven, that the company is extracting its valuable data and extracting valuable information from that data and driving the decisions based on the data, not in assumptions, not in predictions based on personal feelings, based on real data. And here on the requirements, I want to point out that what they require is being able with large data spreadsheets, which could be used in Excel, SQL, presenting, showing your information, demonstrating what are the important points of the data that you've just analyzed, and data exploration software. It could be Tableau, could be R. And beyond this, here in red, which I highlighted only the technical skills, I want also to mention the ones in green here, which are the soft skills. So we have to work with a team of managers, work alongside existing team of data analysts, communicate data insights to directors. So here in green, you can see a lot of communication, a lot of collaboration. As I was mentioning, you're giving information to support all the areas, to support the decision-making process in different departments. So you need to work well with others, and you need to understand the company's need to provide the right information, to provide the insights, so the company is really data-driven. So here is the profile required for data analysts. And here I have a data scientist one, so we can compare. So the first thing that we see here, comparing data scientists, is that it wants us to develop machine learning and artificial intelligence models. And he also wants to test analytical models and industrialize insights into operations. So you can see there's a lot of more coding required. It's a little bit deeper, it's a little more specific. And in the skills we have here, expertise in data manipulation. So working with SQL, working with these different tools here, proficiency in Python. So we see Python is present in everywhere. And one more language would be preferred. So it could be R, which is quite useful, C++, expertise in statistical modeling software packages, which is also be R, for example. And in yellow here, I have highlighted the skills that are also present for a data analyst position. So in the second line here, what we have is we have to test hypotheses, discover different hidden relationships, which is also data analysis, and provide actionable insights. So this is very much data analysis. The fourth point here, we have use data visualization to engage audience in a compelling way. This is also data analysis, which is based on data visualization. And I have here on what we must have on the last line, we have the requirement of being familiar with visualization tools, Tableau, Click, which is very close to Tableau, and D3. So as we can see, data scientist incorporates a little bit more than a data analyst, but still using skills in SQL, and skills in Python, skills in Tableau, and having some business knowledge as well, and working with others. So here, just to have us a quick review. So what skills do you need to become a data analyst? So you need to understand some moderate level of mathematics, because you be working with numbers. You're gonna have some simple calculations going on over there, proportions, percentages, some statistical skills, because you'll be applying some, might be applying some distributions, might be applying some easy statistical skills such as correlations to understand if the data has some influence, some variable is being influenced by another variable. And you also have, the thing you must have is strong business acumen. You must understand the business strategy, what are the business needs. You have to have moderate computer science coding skills. Is not very necessary, like in a deeper level and expert level, but it's good that you have some understanding, because you might be working with R, with Python. Tableau might require you to use some coding, which is quite simple, and creating visualizations with the data, creating charts, creating ways to showcase the data that you have, and utilize business intelligence and analytic tools. Could be Tableau, could be R. So this is basically a data analyst. Moving on to a data scientist. So we have to have strong math and statistical skills, because you might be using that for modeling, for prediction, for prediction analysis, your forecast. Have to have a good business idea, what's happening in the business. Also, strong computer science and coding skills, because you'll not be only working with simple solutions. You're going to be working with different packages in R, different packages in Python, to use all these resources to create understandable models and easy to use interactable dashboards, and extracting the right information to apply to those models as well, because you might be cleaning the data, extracting the data, and running all the way to modeling the data for future decision making. So as we can see here, data scientists have a lot more going on for them again, and they have to, beyond understanding what's happening, create models, and that requires a lot of coding skills and statistical skills as well. So what would be a routine in those positions be like? So the first thing is, you're going to be working in the company, but working with different departments, providing different information to other departments. So you might have some meetings with top management or with other departments, requiring information about new trends, new opportunities. What are the areas at the company that might be needing some improvement? It could be logistics. It could be shipping is not going on so fast, or it could be that the costs in a specific department in a specific location are running higher than expected. Could be also that this product line is not selling as much and is creating a lot of problems, and we should drop this product. So there's a lot of going on that you have to produce reports and communicate your findings. And that involves finding a narrative, storytelling, so you can properly communicate what's happening, and that could also drive decision making. And the next one is, oh, sorry. You have to spot patterns. You have to use visualizations to show you, to help you to decipher the data, to help you to see what's happening behind the data, what correlations are important there, if there is an evolution, if there is a trend. So this is spot the patterns. Third important thing in your routine will be collaborating with others. As I was saying, you'll be working with different areas in the company, you'll be providing different insights to the company, and that might be relevant for executives, marketing people, the legal department. So be collaborating with others. And the fourth common thing that will be having your routine is collecting the data and creating this infrastructure. So this is kind of maybe the most technical part about the job. It could mean working with different people from other departments, with web developers that will help you to extract data from online resources, so you can streamline, so you can automate and make it easier, make it faster, to make your work more efficient. So this could be a little bit more technical, this one. So I was mentioning a lot about technical skills, and I had a glimpse of the softer skills that you need. But I want to mention that beyond these technical skills, we have to present your data, as I was mentioning. So you have to find good visualizations. You have to find not only produce a chart, you have to produce a chart that's interesting, compelling, using different colors with different sizes, different strategies. And this also comes with delivering a message, could be through communication and presentation. And you might not have that now, but with time you can learn that easily with practice, with creating new tools, producing charts and trying to see if it works, if it doesn't work. So it's really easy to learn these skills with some practice. Other skills would be, as I mentioned, creating dashboards and reports. Because you'll be communicating with different users, you have to be sure that your information is clear and your data is well presented. So you have to make sure the audience is getting the information that they need, the information required, and you're speaking the same language as them. And third important soft skill is problem solving. When you're dealing with data and software, you might be running into some troubles, or you might have some errors happening. So you have to use a lot of problem solving. Maybe you're not following the right path and you look online and Google, oh, how to do that? And you're going to find a lot of different solutions. So that involves a lot of problem solving. Since we're using coding, there are many different ways to do the same thing. And sometimes you're going to find that your way is good for that situation, but from other situation with larger data sets might be easier to find a package, or might be easier to try a different approach. As I was mentioning, a lot of teamwork and communication you're going to be using in those positions. Also research. As this field is always changing, is always developing, sometimes you must need to research a little bit more and find all the different solutions. So doing some digging, some investigating is really good for you to help find other methods. They'll help you to better give you all the tools to improve your storytelling, to improve your data. And there are a lot of resources online for that. For example, in Tableau, you have the Tableau community that you can access, and they have different visualizations or different hashtags on Twitter that you can see different visualizations with different strategies of color, different strategies of values. So research is a very important step in it. Also, attention to detail. As we'll be working with data, and usually lots sets of data, it might seem like you're going to be looking over all the data, but no, you have to pay attention to details. Maybe some point make a difference in your data. Maybe some point will be creating a different model, a different regression curve. So it's like searching for a needle in a haystack when you have some problems with your algorithm. Maybe some lines need some changing, some bug solving. So it's really important that you pay a lot of attention to detail what's happening in your data as well. So data analysts usually doesn't have a requirement, can come from different backgrounds. You don't need decades of experience in the field, and you don't need to have like a university degree. You can find many different resources and learn how to work with data. And it is present in many different areas. I'm gonna give some examples about healthcare, but you can also use that in communications, in the government a lot, because you're dealing with so much data coming from budget, coming from transportation, coming from different agencies. Consumer goods, which talks a lot about marketing, and transportation. As you can see, the demand rising for certain areas. You can see rush hour, or you can see the demand for different types of transport in agriculture. So it is applicable to all different industries that we have. For example, in healthcare, you can apply the data analyst for hospitals, health systems, health insurance companies, and you could be working with automating different reports, creating dashboards, so the top management could be seeing how the business is performing, or what are the requirements for different sectors in the hospital, or if the beds are full. Well, it could be helping you to make the right decisions in a short time frame, expediting and creating reports. Also in transportation, nowadays with the use of GPS everywhere, and you can use that to help you understand how your users are moving in the city, using mobility tracking apps to try to understand the amount of time spent in the system, to explore some behavioral regularities, and quantify how you can improve, how can you charge, if you can charge differently for different stations, if you're renting spaces, or if you can improve your system for certain time slots. So it can be applied to many different fields. I don't even have to mention that finance uses a lot of it, because a lot of numbers, you can see even in our personal lives, we can try to use data to track how we're using our money. So there are different approaches that we can use data, and there are different skills that you need, but basically you need to have some understanding about mathematics, statistics, but have a good eye for business skills, your skills with understanding the needs and providing solutions for the needs. So that's a little bit what I wanted to talk about the data science and data analysis, different positions. I hope everybody could understand a little bit more about that. And if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah, thank you very much, Eri. I hope you guys have enjoyed this section. So if you have any question, feel free to ask.
Hello, thanks, Ali and Chooks. Thanks for the presentation. I really enjoyed listening to you, and it made a whole lot of things clearer for me. My question is this: I just want to find out in this about the program, if we'll be going into machine learning, as part of the skills that we'll be developing in this program.
Yeah, thank you. For the project, we'll be using that machine learning to predict financial fraud using a tool like R or Python. That is the focus of the project.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Thanks so much. Ali and Chicks for that. So one question that I get asked, if you could itemize once again the tools that you will use in the program, and also if you want to talk about the project as well for everyone, that will also be good. Thank you.
Well, I'll just give a brief detail about the project. Then when we start the project, we're going to have an introduction section to the project whereby we will take time, we'll go into detail to talk to all the learners and what the project is all about, the tool we are going to use. Because right now we're looking at using a ADA or Python, but we may decide, we may change our mind to say, okay, let's use the both tool, but that is not certain at the moment. But I have it the back of mind that we are working on machine learning to predict financial fraud. Oh my God. Is that one coming from? Hello?
Yeah, just continue, don't worry.
Yeah, so that is what we're working on. So just have it in the back of my mind that we are working on building a predictive, predicting financial fraud. That's what we're working on the project. So, but like I said, before we start, especially on that particular day, we're able to talk to learners what is all the project all about, the structure, how we're going to go throughout the project for the period of 3 months, and what sort of tool we're going to use. But we're going to use R or Python. So, but that's not certain at the moment. But we'll communicate that on the first day of the project.
Okay, all right, thank you. Has anyone got any other questions for Chooks or Ali?
Yes, please.
I have a question for Mr. Dodo. My question is, after the 3 months as a data scientist, we will be ready for, I mean, is it enough to get ready for jobs straight away after the training?
Yes, you should be, it depends on how you are able to learn throughout the period. So you should be able to hit the ground to look for a job, because it's part of the this thing, or part of the project. We will definitely get somebody who will provide that life skill on how to structure your CV, what are the language, the tune, or the keyword that employers are looking for. So that kind of service is integrated to this project, so that in the period, people will be able to know if I'm looking for to be a data modeling, what sort of language or the keyword as employers will be looking for in my CV. If I'm going to be a data governance analyst, so you need to look at what are the keywords that employers are looking for, and you're able to provide a little bit of mock interview and say, okay, this is how you are going to present. If you are asked this question, this is how you're going to present your idea. So those things are integrated in the workshop. So anybody, by special, anybody who is serious and understand those tools and you have that confidence should be able to hit the ground running.
I also want to ask this, sorry, I just want to find out, because I think the presentation made a whole lot of things much clearer for me. As a data scientist, the scope of skills that you expected to cover includes both that of the data engineer, the data analyst, and the machine learning engineer and machine learning. So these are quite a whole lot. I mean, within a period of 3 months, for some of us that even are newbies when it comes to data engineering or data science tools. So I'm still looking at how we'll be able to cover this. So what my question actually is, what would be the main focus? Because looking at that, that involves a whole lot.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Within 3 months.
Thank you very much. If you look at the presentation that Ali gave there, he tried to differentiate the difference between data analysis and data science. So what we are focusing on is purely data science in the project. Ali, do you want to come in at this point?
Yeah, sure. This is a field that requires a lot of different skills, but at the same time, a data engineer could be specializing for years in that field, and I think having an understanding as a data scientist of different fields and overall can be achieved, and you can understand what's happening there instead of just becoming an expert as a data engineer, or just become an expert as a data analyst, because that requires a long time. But for a data scientist, you have an understanding of all the parts happening. You don't need to understand deeply what's happening in every different category, because it's different for each company what you be required of. So when you arrive having a generic knowledge and having understanding of the whole process in data analysis, you come with the potential to later on engage in those areas. But I think having a clear understanding of the skills used in every category and every segment is important and achievable in a short time. Doesn't need to become an expert in every step of the way to become a data scientist.
Yeah, thank you, Ali.
Okay,
if I may, I may add to that. So, well, we have two data-related internship. One is data analyst, and one is data scientist, actually. So, I think even though, as Ali said, data scientists actually covered the data analytics as well. But in this program, it's going to be based on the tools that you are going to be exposed to, right? And it's been established that you're going to learn about either Python or R, and also on a project. So that will be the basis for this particular internship. So of course, you won't be an expert over the 3 months, but you'll be able to, we teach you the tool to be able for you to get the role. And as you go along, you'll be able to learn on the job. However, there's another part also for those guys that are interested in data analytics. So those they've got their own tools, as even Ali has mentioned. You got SQL, you got SSRS, you got Tableau, and the likes. They are going to focus on those areas as well. So you have two streams of data science that are going to be covered, but each one of them has got their specialized too. So that's how it's been structured right now, if that's okay. Chooks, do you want to?
Yeah, in addition to that, like I say, it depends on what kind of role are you looking for. For example, in our last cohort we had. Oh my God. Is that an intruder or what? Who is that?
I think it's an intruder. He needs to be knocked out.
You need to remove her. It's what kind of you need to secure your platform. Where is it coming from?
So it's been
so, yeah. So what I'm saying, like in our last section, our last section in Edinburgh, we had somebody who got a job. Sorry about like what I was saying. I said we had somebody who got a job for learning the Excel spreadsheet and SQL. That was enough to give that person a job. So it depends.
Hiya.
Hello, can I
Hello,
ask a question, please?
go ahead.
Please. So I joined it. I actually signed for project management apprenticeship.
너무 좋다.
Is it difficult to remove this person from the platform? I guess
I've done that. It's just coming back every time. So
it's an intruder.
I think from the setting of the Zoom. If you had made it where each individual will have to be admitted.
Yeah.
Yeah, need permission needs to be admitted. Then this wouldn't be happening. I think you need to change the setting.
Like what we do, everybody that have to use the pass have to register confirmation to enter so that you know everybody that is coming in. It's very good you do that.
okay, I think it's been sorted now.
Okay. So who's having a question again? Any question?
Yeah, my name is David. I'm sorry, I joined it and I was listening that you were talking about data analysis and data scientists, and I actually signed for project management apprenticeship. So is there when are we going to go into details with that, or when are we going to start, or is it generally for everybody?
I think did you answer that question? I think we are still going to go to that section of question and answer for different projects very soon, if I'm correct.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, sorry, I joined it. Sorry, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And then I would like to ask, please, the training basically, is it going to be every day or weekend, or how are we going to structure it?
Yeah.
So, because at the moment, most of us are working, and then in order to structure our time with the program.
That also will be addressed in the second part of this. So this is basically for data scientists. So if you have any question about data scientists and everything, so we're going to, after 9 o'clock, we're going to start the other part, which is general question for anyone, if that's okay.
Okay, so Ellie, you need to stop sharing and so.
Sorry, please, I want to ask a question, please.
Okay.
To be a data scientist, what skill, like what should you possess that should make you think, okay, I can do this I can go into this particular field? What is it that you must have, like a must have for you as an individual to know you qualify to get?
Ellie, do you want to answer that question?
Thank you.
We can't hear you.
Is he muted? Okay.
Oh, sorry. You mean the skills that you must have at the beginning or at the end?
No, at the beginning, like what should you know? Is it like you must be a good
get out
orator
of here,
or
bro.
something?
Well, it's not necessarily like having many different skills. We already have without knowing the skills necessary, such as understanding a little bit of the circumstances of a business. So you already have many of the skills required. What you might need that you don't have some statistical skills, understanding a little bit about some slight coding will be quite interesting. Some basic mathematical operations, percentage, just so you can have an idea what the data is showing you, and also understand about charts. I think that would be a good skill to have before the course, understanding how to read charts, what the chart's telling you. So they are not very difficult skills for you to start at the beginning. And yeah, they're the skills like learning knowing a little bit more about mathematics, statistics, in a very like not expert level, and charts. I think charts will be quite important to have.
Okay. All right. So if you have any other questions, please do raise your hand, and I will. So before we start the next one, so please, if you do have any other questions, so please do raise your hand. Then on the admin will meet you. Then you can, yeah. So otherwise, we'll, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, Winifred. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to ask if you want to do they want to do both. Do you have to pay for one? Do
You have to pay for
one?
both. You have to pay for both. Yeah.
Like you want to do data science.
Yeah, you have to pay for
I have
both.
to pay for the two.
You have to pay for both, if that's okay. All right. For Winifred, you cannot mute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hello,
Is that-
hello. Yeah, sorry, I was trying to speak, but the host is not allowing me. I think now it's opened. What I want to say is I learned the internship is going to be virtual.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then me, especially, I have an interest in data analysis or data science, of which at some point I don't have that strong computer background. How would I do it how would I do it virtually if I'm not doing anything right on the computer? How would I be guided?
Okay. It's going to be, you need a little of IT knowledge. To be honest, it's an IT course, so you need a little of IT knowledge. So if you need to get more skills in IT, there's some other training institute that does that. So I can refer you to them. So for this is no, we don't train people on how to use the computer, on how to do that. So yeah, so unfortunately that's not what we do here. So and you, of course, you need to have a knowledge of IT. This is kind of advanced courses for those guys that have already been able to use computer, if that's okay.
Yes, I understand about what I want to know is, yes, I have interest in doing that, but not that I don't know the computer. I know the computer, but going into detail like those Python and those kind of things, yeah, I haven't used them before. So if I'm using it virtually and then I can't get to the point, how would I be corrected? That's what I'm asking. Or
Yeah,
I want to
your mentors will be there to assist you during the course, right? So they'll, if you have any issues, there will be workshop. I think Chicks also mentioned workshop where they will show you what you need to do, how you need to do it. Then they'll be able to guide you through that, if that's okay.
Okay.
So what? Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
Is there
1 minute, because what
All
you are actually discussing is not related to data scientists specifically. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to close this particular session so that we'll finish data scientists, so that we can open to everyone so that we can do the general questions, which I think is where we are right now. So if that's fine.
That's fine.
Okay. Ali, thank you very much. So I will allow you to go.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Chuck.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to
you.
quickly unmute those guys raising their hands. So, and yeah. So, so if your question is data related, so please do ask quickly before I let you as we go.
My
Okay.
question is actually a follow-up question from the question asked by Wakaso Semira. Yes, I wanted to, just like she asked on the necessary skill, the prerequisites, I just wanted to get some help with resources, any resources that will be helpful in terms of developing the necessary theoretical background, and not as much as improving your background knowledge and developing yourself. That's what my question is about.
Okay. So yeah, those are going to be provided to you. Resources are going to be provided to you. You're going to be taught. You're going to be shown how to use those tools, and even give some guidance or references to some books.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah. Okay, please, Ethan. Please. Okay. All right. Cool.
I have a question. Can I ask that, please?
Please. Yeah, Billy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hi there. Yeah. So I just wanted to ask. I'm about to start my master in data science. So would the internship be added bonus, to my course, or there is no need in doing it?
Yes, it's additional. It's a plus for you, because the project internship you're going to do, that project you can use to demonstrate as your practical experience.
Okay.
Which can add value to your CV. So you stand out.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Jide, please.
Hello, good evening. First of all, I want to just quickly point out that Ethan is also one of the people that's disturbing the program. So if you want to remove him, you can. And I wanted to just find out. Secondly, I wanted to find out what or how much it's going to cost. I know it's free. There's something about it being free, and we'll have to pay for membership. I don't know about that. If that can be explained later on or as time goes on. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I've removed them now. Okay. So, and that's fine. So, and yeah, it's the cost is £300 actually for the internship. The one that we've done, we normally do like a free training as along the way. You'll be able to get access to those free ones. So, but the internship is very hands-on, where you're going to have exposure to those courses. So, but it's not free. It's 300, if that's okay. Yeah. Okay, Billy.
I have asked my question already. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right, cool. So thank you so much, Chucks, for that. So I'll let you go. Of course, if you want to argue around that, that's also fine. So we're going to be here up to like 10 o'clock. So asking questions. So I'll go through my slides. I will see touch base on most of these data analytics or data science issues. But yeah, if you want to stick around, that'll be fine. But if you want to go, that's okay. Thank you so much for having you. And also to Ali as well. Thank you guys for coming on. Okay, cool.
Yeah, thank you. I'm still hanging around. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.